Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about the new iPhone SE that launched in March 2022. So the iPhone SE is the budget phone that Apple produces, and it is based on the designs that we've seen previously with the iPhone 6, iPhone 7, but with the specs that are in most cases updated and are similar to modern phones. In terms of choice, you don't really have a lot of choice. So the iPhone SE comes in three color options. One is red, the other is white, which Apple calls Starlight, and the last one is black, which Apple calls Midnight. And you also have three different storage capacities. The smallest one is 64 gigabytes, the middle one is 128 gigabytes, and the highest end one is 256 gigabytes. And this is basically what also makes the difference between the pricing for the three phones. So in the US, the 64 gigabytes start from $429, the 128 gigabytes from $479, and the 256 gigabytes from $579. Personally, I think that the 128 gigabytes one is the best option because it's only 50 euros cheaper than the smallest one, and that 64 gigabytes could come in handy. I personally, for my use, I don't need the 256 gigabyte one because I use cloud storage a lot and I back up my photos and videos there, and I never run into storage issue with 256 gigabytes. In terms of the size and weight, the phone is the same as iPhone 6s and 7s. So it the height of it is 5.45 inches, so 138 millimeters. The width is 2.65 inches, so 67 millimeters. The depth of it is 0.29 inches, so 7.3 millimeters, and it weighs 5.09 ounces or 144 grams. The display, I think, is probably what's going to be the biggest letdown for people. It measures 4.7 inches diagonally. So in terms of size, it is a small size phone, or smaller compared to most flagships nowadays. And it also a Retina HD display. The resolution is only 1334 by 750 pixels at 326 ppi, and it has the True Tone display and white color display P3. When I hold it next to an iPhone 13, I personally don't really see a lot of difference between the display, but you might see it in maybe some games. But in normal everyday use, they're very similar. Maybe it is a little bit less smooth than the iPhone 13, but apart from that, I say it's a very capable display, and I don't think you're going to have any problems with it. This is where it gets very interesting. The chip or the processor on the phone is the A15 Bionic chip from Apple with the 6-core CPU with 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores. And it also has a 4-core GPU. And this is different from the A15 that you find on the iPhone 13 because that has 5-core GPU. But this one also has the 16-core neural engine. It's splash water and dust resistant, so it's rated IP67, maximum depth of water of 1 meter or about 3 feet, and up to 30 minutes. So you're not going to take this swimming, but if it falls in the sink or something, you have a good chance of it surviving. In terms of camera, you only have one camera on the back on the iPhone SE, which is a 12 megapixels wide camera with an aperture of 1.8 and with a digital zoom of up to 5x. So you have no optical zoom on the iPhone SE. You do have optical zoom on the iPhone 13. On the front, you have one camera, which is only 7 pixels, and it has an aperture of 2.2. So the difference in quality camera between the iPhone SE and the iPhone 13 is pretty large. Both video and front camera also allow you to record video at 180p HD at 25 or 30 frames per second. And with the back camera, you can also record 4K video at 24 frames per second, 25, 30, or 60. In terms of getting into the phone, the Apple SE only supports Touch ID, the second generation of Touch ID, which is the fingerprint sensor built into the home button, so it doesn't have Face ID like the iPhone 13. It also supports two SIM cards, so one normal SIM card and a eSIM, or two eSIMs at the same time, which is great. I personally like that a lot. In terms of battery capacity, Apple states that you can do video playback up to 15 hours or streaming up to 10 hours and audio playback up to 50 hours, and that you're capable to charge up to 50% in 30 minutes with a 20 watts adapter that is sold separately, unfortunately. In my use cases for it, I never run out of the battery during one day, only maybe if I'm using it a lot, which I generally don't. I only spend a few hours per day on my phones, and for me, the battery always lasts me the full day. Yeah, I think those are all the features that would be important to discuss. For the price point at which it is, I think it's a very good phone. The build quality is very, very nice. So far, it's only been a couple of weeks since it's out, so it's too soon to say how it is gonna last, but so far I have absolutely no complaints with it. And I think it is a good purchase. Thank you for watching.